we've never come out and said it's, Super Bowl or bust this year. We have a defense that is a work in progress. And when you have to tighten up with, once you pay Andrew what we did, it's going to take some time to build on the other side of the ball. Nothing's ever perfect. There are no utopias in an NFL team. So we have a lot of things to be proud of, but at the same time, we're 1-3, and the expectations around Indianapolis are always going to be high.
The Colts picked up their second win of the season on Sunday, but their GM stole the headlines when he said on a radio show last week that they've had a difficult time improving their defense because, listen to this, they gave quarterback Andrew Luck a new $140 million contract last offseason. So Grigson blaming Luck. Stephen A., should he be fired after those comments?
I think so. And it's not just because of the comments. Let me preface my comments, Max, by saying, look, we sit up here, we watch things, and regardless of it being about opinions or whatever, I'm serious about calling for somebody's job. It's not something that I take lightly. But Andrew Luck is the franchise. This guy could be perceived as being primarily responsible for the lack of protection that has been accorded to Andrew Luck. I'm not going to even count the hits. We're talking about right now, Andrew Luck has been sacked 20 times. 20. This is after you paid him this contract. Last year, he got hurt, so that didn't apply because he only got sacked 15 times. But, he got sacked 15 times, but he only played like 7 games or so because he was injured. Year before that, they were 22nd. He got sacked 27 times. 2013, 32 times. His rookie year, 41 times. This is the franchise. You've had a suspect running game, even though Frank Gore is relatively decent. But you've had a suspect running game. You've had a suspect offensive line. You haven't protected Andrew Luck. Now your defense stinks, okay? And you got the audacity to go on the airwaves and talk about how we got to tighten things up a little bit because of the contract we signed Luck to. What the hell have you been doing all of these years? This is Andrew Luck's 4th season. You knew he was here. He's been here. What the hell are you talking about? His 5th season, actually. He's been here long enough. What are you doing? You got the 29th ranked defense, 30th in yards allowed. You rank 28th against the pass. There's so many holes in this franchise. I'm not even looking at Pagano because I'm thinking about Pep Hamilton being gone and Pagano, maybe he made that decision. Maybe they made that decision. Then you had the relationship between Pagano and Grigson, which was an issue. Irsay steps in and brings them all together like he's Gandhi. Everybody singing Kumbaya and hugging one another like everything that was going to alleviate all the concerns. Your number one priority is to facilitate the success and well-being of Andrew Luck. And you have had all of these years to do it, and you have yet to do it. To me, I view Grigson as more of a problem than Pagano. And I think it's a mistake for this man to be in this position because you have had ample opportunity to address the concerns as it pertains to Andrew Luck, and you have not done so. Enough's enough.
The answer to the question, should Grigson be fired after these comments, is no. You don't fire him now. I don't know what that does for the team at this moment in time anyway. And although I really don't like these comments, because essentially what Grigson is saying is it's a hard cap league. I mean, you got to rob Peter to pay Paul. That's the way it works. What he's saying is our quarterback is so great because Andrew Luck is not overpaid. It's not like anyone's sitting there going, damn, Andrew Luck gets all that money. He doesn't deserve it. It's not an Osweiler contract or something. Andrew Luck's the quarterback really you want. I mean, he might have the most trade value of anyone in football. He's in his prime. He's amazing. Right. He can run. He can throw. The whole thing. Are you actually arguing that because you have such an awesome quarterback, you can't afford a defense? Because that's what he's arguing. Because every other GM in the league has the same issues. You're going to have to pay some players. That means there's less money to pay other players. So you got to draft well. You got to find the right free agents, etc. You got to do it. That's your job. This is why he shouldn't be fired for saying it. Because if you're being interviewed or you're in the media and you are asked to describe or explain that can frequently sound like an excuse, and sometimes it is an excuse. And he should know better than to describe or explain in a way that sounds like an excuse. I don't like what he said at all. But I don't think that's grounds for losing your job.
No.
Why isn't your defense better? We couldn't afford a lot of good defensive players.
But I'm not,
you're going to lose your job over that?
But I'm not saying that the man should receive a pink slip because of a quote. That would be asinine. I'm saying that the quote has everything to do with you and the dereliction of duty that you performed on the job. So when you sit up there and you explain it away, it's like you're pointing a finger at somebody else.
Agreed.
You are the problem.
But,
and Irsay was supposed to make a move on them this offseason and decided to bring them together. And decided to bring them together.
He extended them long term.
He extended them and talked about, we're going to pull this, we're going to stick together, we're going to make amends, we're going to get this thing right, et cetera, et cetera. But everything's about Andrew Luck. The man has been sacked. He's not being protected. We didn't even count the amount of times he's been hit. You've got a guy in Grigson. The guy gave up a first-round pick for Trent Richardson. The guy has made free agent flops. He's made draft pick flops. Everything can be directly pointed to him. And by the way, Max, nothing's happening during the season. So he's the one guy you can afford to get rid of.
I don't think
it would be different if it's a coach. The GM, what the hell is he doing anyway?
Well, here's the problem. If the Colts win at Houston next Sunday night, they're in a tie for first place. So you're going to fire the GM of a team, and they could easily win at Houston. The way Houston's looked recently, and Andrew Luck, by the way, even with no protection, is on his way to about a 5,000-yard passing season.
Do you stop that? That has nothing to do with this.
Well, I mean, because he's excellent.
No,
they have a chance to win at Houston.
Andrew Luck is excellent.
Yes, and they paid him $140 million.
So let me ask you this question.
Sure.
Your quarterback, you the owner. Your quarterback is the franchise.
Sure.
He's a stud. Max believes he's going to be league MVP, right?
Yeah.
And then everything that I can point to is a direct correlation in terms of the deficiencies that are attached to him, in terms of the health hazard that he's become because of his situation. Every single thing that is potentially detrimental to him, you can point to me as being the cause for that.
Yeah.
You keeping me around?
Grigson's done a bad job.
You keeping me around?
But not because of these comments. Let me just say.
I didn't say that.
Here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. You have this much money to spend. You have this many draft picks to choose, right? In the end, however you do it, whether it's you protect your quarterback well or you sacrifice that because you're not good enough to do both, so you either have to have a good quarterback or you have to have protection for the quarterback or you have to sacrifice defense, whatever it is, because you're not good enough to get it all done, which Grigson hasn't been. But however you do it, if you want to end the season in first place, if you end the season with a playoff win, and the Colts...
That's why I'm trying to stop you, because I'm trying to ask you a question.
First place
I'm trying to stop you because I'm trying to ask you a question. Did you believe that Grigson should have been brought back this season? Well, Max, let me ask you a question. Didn't the Colts have 3 consecutive 11-5 seasons and go to the playoffs and advance from the wild card to the divisional playoffs to the AFC Championship game before Andrew Luck got hurt last year? So why did you want Grigson gone?
Well, you enumerated some of the reasons: bad trades, bad drafting.
So what I'm trying to say to you is this.
And then they were falling off after those 11-5
So what I'm saying to you, then what the hell are you bringing up first place for potentially now? It don't mean anything because it's despite him, not because of him.
No. Because in the end, the argument right now that he's making is I had to use a certain number of resources here. I have finite resources. Therefore, I didn't have enough to use over there. What I'm saying is a better GM would figure out a way to get it all done. However, in the end, however you get there, you get there. If they wind up ending the season in first place,
but Max,
then he's done his job.
Hold on. I just asked you.
Even if it's mostly Andrew Luck.
No. I just asked you. I said, would you have brought him back this year? You said no.
I would not have extended him to a long-term extension.
So what I'm saying to you is this. He had 3 first-place finishes. Evidently, that didn't matter to you because you looked at the job he was doing. So why would you bring up the first record or the potential first-place record now? Because he's not doing the job.
Cause to fire him?
I'm saying
you're saying yes. I'm saying no.
The comment itself gave you reason to look at his history and the job that he has done.
You don't need reason. You can fire a guy for anything.
No, I'm saying I'm not going to fire the man because of the quote. I want to fire him because the quote that he gave really brings attention to him.
So his thought process and how he's not accepting responsibility.
And he's not, for the job he is not doing.
I don't like the comments.
For the job he's not doing.
I don't like the comments at all.
Okay.
I don't consider them a fireable offense.
I think his job performance is a fireable offense.
At the end of the season, you don't like him?
Why not? What's going to happen to them now?
Pay him anyway. You want to pay 2 guys? What's the GM going to do right now?
You put somebody else in this position that's already there. He ain't doing it. Try something new.
Okay, we can keep going on.
All right, let's leave it there. The 4-1 Falcons knocked the Broncos from the ranks of the unbeaten. Does this prove they're for real? Merrill Hodge will join us with that answer. That's next.